Okay. Namaste. मेरा नाम John है. Not dating coach. This time I'll be more on point. Okay, let's just get right to it. Why does dating coaches lie to you? Spin doctoring. Looks, money, status. Looks don't matter, race don't matter. What are they doing? They're called spin doctors. So what is a spin doctor? I'm gonna break it down for you in 10 minutes. If you really haven't learned anything, just fucking leave. I guarantee you, you'll learn how you're being manipulated. And this could be the biggest eye-opener of your life. So I'm going to talk about number one, gaslighting. What is gaslighting? Number two, spin doctoring. And now I'm going to talk about how sociopaths use that. Because most of the dating coaches, 95% are sociopaths. I'll talk about the concept, because that's strategy. I'll talk about the tactics, how it is like magic. There's always 3 steps: the pledge, the turn, and the prestige. If you saw the movie The Prestige, okay? And I'll show you the techniques of how they do it. I'll show you the psychology behind why they spin information all the time. And I'm going to show you examples. So stick around 10 minutes. I'm going to get right through this as fast as humanly possible. All right, let's get right to it. Let's not waste any fucking time. All right, gaslighting is a tactic which a person or entity, in order to gain more power, makes victims question their own reality. It works much better than you think. Anyone is susceptible to gaslighting. It is a common technique of abusers, dictators, narcissists, and cult leaders. And that's the word, cult leaders, because a lot of these dating coaches are cult leaders. If it's done slowly, the victim doesn't realize how much they have been brainwashed. And I have experienced that myself, no matter how smart I am. So basically, that's gaslighting. It's a form of psychological manipulation in which a person or group covertly sows seeds of doubt targeted at an individual group, making them question their own memory, perception, or judgment, often evoking cognitive dissonance. And others, including self-esteem, use of denial, misdirection, contradiction, and misinformation. Gaslight attempts to destabilize the victim and legitimize the victim's beliefs. So basically what they're doing is they're constantly lying to you on a microscopic level, over and over, half-truths, to the point where they can spin information. Because if you saw in the last video, you already given them your authority, do the authority switch. Because you have stopped thinking, critical thinking. Now they're going to use this to abuse you and to mentally brainwash you. I'm going to teach you step by step all the tactics that you could ever learn about gaslighting. Sociopaths and narcissists frequently use gaslighting tactics to abuse and undermine their victims. So the word sociopath, according to Wikipedia, sociopaths consistently transgress normal mores, break laws, and exploit others. But typically, they are convincing liars, sometimes charming ones, who consistently denies wrongdoing. Thus, they have been victimized. Those who have been victimized by sociopaths may doubt their own perception. Hitler, for example, ran a spin campaign for Nazi Germany. So basically, that's what spin is. So how does it work for sociopaths? I'm going to get right to the point, guys, as fast as I can. That's how sociopaths operate. They are speaking. They capture your imagination. They sound reasonable, okay? Even authoritative. But in clear daylight, they may actually, what they're saying is absurd and dangerous. Every story, so all the stories that they say, when they tell you this story, you cannot verify it. It's all spin doctoring. It's all bullshit. I wouldn't listen to any stories that they have to say because it's completely half-truths. Because you're already given your authority switch to these people, your procreation switch. You no longer have the ability to think. And I don't care if there's not that many people here on right now. I'm just going to speak the truth. The truth is going to get through to you. That's the important thing. So no matter what fictions are presented by the sociopath, they always present him in the light of a hero. That means no matter what in their own stories, they are always the ones who are the heroes. In reality, they are the perpetrators. They are the evil ones. They are the perpetrators. They are the troublemakers. They are the cult leaders. They are the ones screwing everyone else over. All right. So people from all walks of life allow themselves to be fooled by these sociopaths, buying to their false narratives and toxic products and destructive behavioral patterns, all driven in their heads through a complex web of social engineering, linguistics, means like talking, and emotional influence. So that's why when you see them turn their head a lot, they're emotional and they have serial killer eyes like Charles Manson. When they talk like this, when they do that, they charm the sheeps with this emotion of this really sociopathic charm. And it works on the benchoed sheeps. Bencho means sister fucker in Hindi. It works on the bencho sheeps. They are the first ones to be manipulated of everyone in the world. So let's talk about how is this done. That's just the strategy of it. What is the tactic of it? It's very, very simple. If we look at magic, every great magic trick consists of 3 parts. Number 1 is the pledge. So a magician will show you like a card. They'll be like, check this out. It's normal deck of cards. Right? And it's like nobody bats an eyelid. The second one's called the turn. They'll show something about the card. Pick a card. And then they'll show you, is this your card? That is called a turn. Because you weren't really looking for it. You want to be fooled, but you wouldn't clap yet. Because you want to see something like happen. And the last step is called the prestige. They'll basically show you, okay, is that not your card? And then they'll do another magic trick and a whole deck disappears. And you're like, oh my fucking God. This is the tactic. Now let's explain, how did they manipulate you with this tactic? So number 1, all Daygame spin has 3 components every single time, like magic. There are no exceptions to these Machiavellian sociopaths. Number 1, the pledge. Red pill dismisses their own value. Value like protector status or pre-selection or race, height, all that stuff. It'll be completely denied. The Instagram will be denied. Everything will be denied about their value. Number 2, the turn. So that's the first one, is a pledge. They are all half-truths. They pick and choose from both red pill and evolutionary psychology. And that's the problem, because it sounds plausible. It is not what they leave in, but what they leave out that is important. Because in magic, that's called a misdirection. You know, a sleight of hand, like magic. They'll never talk about sociopaths, but they always say psychopaths. They'll talk about how people, like, they think people screw them over, but they'll not talk about how they screw over everyone else. That's really funny. They'll talk about this, they'll talk about emotions to get a girlfriend, but they never talk about their own SMV. They never talk about their height, muscles, and their perceived race. Black people automatically get girlfriends just by being tall and black in Daygame. I've seen this with my students. I've seen this over and over again, tall blacks and tall whites, and Latinos, and also Middle Easterns. But they'll never talk about that. In the prestige, their half-truths are motivational. It's all game. Because they're value deniers, they spin it, that is all game. It's all game, it's all game. So the conclusions depend on you giving them the authority, just like the authority switch I talked about. Once you see their infields or their stats while they're chopping down their hands, you automatically have given them authority. So therefore, you know, this is how they maximize the amount of money they can make from you. That's how they maximize the kind of money they can make from you. Sociopaths invent outrageous lies about their experience. Superficial charm. So according to this article, that's how sociopaths operate. They are speaking. So this is important because when you see them speak, they'll be telling stories and then you're going to get manipulated. This is how sociopaths operate. They are speaking. They capture your imagination and they sound reasonable, even authoritative. But in clear daylight, or light of day, they are actually, what they're saying is absurd or even dangerous. Every time, every story the sociopath weaves, often the spur of the moment, it's impossible to confirm or deny. You get it? You cannot confirm what they're saying or deny what they're saying. No one can prove him wrong since they weren't there. So he can spin whatever details in the story he wants. But no matter what fiction are presented by the sociopath, they always present in the light of a hero. People from all walks of life allowed. Did I say this again twice? Okay, I think I repeated this again. Okay, my bad. I put the wrong article. Okay, so basically you kind of know the pattern. So they're like always spinning webs like a black widow spider. So number 1, a spin that follows the patterns of the magic is very simple. Sociopaths are delusional and they literally believe everything. So they might say that they might dismiss their own protector status, like I said. their own value, their pre-selection, race, height, everything. For example, they will leave out their own height, muscles, and pre-selected race. When they say something like, oh yeah, I mean, emotional students, the ones who are not emotional has hardware issues. But that's a bullshit spin because all pickup artists have hardware issues. Sociopaths have a bigger hardware issue. They just know how to spin things. They just have taller height, protector status, pre-selected race, but they deny it. They are half truths. They pick and choose from both red pill and both evolutionary psychology to sound plausible. It's not what they leave in, but what they leave out that is spin doctrine, misdirection, sleight of hand like magic. So in reality, they'll try to say hardware issues, mention psychopaths. Marie said that. That's great. Sociopath, but not their own sociopathy or autistic emotional students, the bench-toed sheeps. Yet my psychopath students always outdoes the emotional autistic sociopath, almost double the results. There are 31 students who are emotional sociopaths that I taught that got later pulled. And the other one, there's 53 of them that are psychopaths, Asperger's, not autism. Okay, number 3, they're half-truth motivational. It's all game conclusions. So you gotta be careful that they can control your conclusions. Okay, so that's how they can maximize the money. Does this utter nonsense make you feel power? So the coaches can deny they look black or whatever pre-selected race. It makes you want to take coaching with them, as the mask. They're wearing a sociopathic mask and they're gaming you like sheeps. And the truth is, being emotional hurts your game because it's autism, over sensory perception. Unless you're tall, white, black looking with pre-selected protector status, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. So it only benefits the tall whites, blacks, Latinos, and Middle Easterns if they try to do it their way. Okay, let's continue. If you guys are liking this, give a thumbs up. Big lie number 2. They tell you nonsense like emotions equals girlfriends. Yet I have shown a video of all my students that the ones who get the girlfriends are all tall, white, blacks, Latinos, and Middle Easterns. Every single time. It's almost automatic, or Asian on Asian. But it doesn't work like, it's not an emotional thing. It's a value thing. It's a height thing. It is a social standing. There is a hierarchy. And that's what they refuse to acknowledge. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. And the big lie number 3, height doesn't matter. Maybe certain coaches did not say this, but others do. Height doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Yet for some reason, when I show in a video, the taller students actually gets laid much faster than the shorter students, which is kind of strange. This is not a theory. This is a scientific, statistical fact. So basically, red pill dismisses their own value. Protectors. Okay, so basically what it says is they'll never talk about height. Since that means their protector status, if they are above 5'9", according to all my students, they get laid faster automatically, statistically speaking. I've gone over all the statistics if you want to watch the old video about height. Okay, number 2, they talk about half-truths, pick and choose. Okay, let's see what they have to say. Height is disregarded in all game. They will never talk about their own advantages because in their mind, their delusional mind, they'll spin to you it's all game. Even if my taller students gets laid faster. They deny. Okay. Sorry, I just sitting on my leg. They are half-truth motivational. It's all game conclusions depending on you giving authority. So let's see what I have to say about this. They sell you the dream that it is all game. Although game is just a small category, they dismiss social skills, social calibrations, protector status, pre-selection is not what they say, it's what they don't say. That's important. So the conclusion, if you mix evolutionary psychology, not just bits and pieces, but all of it, the red pill gaslighting doesn't work. That means you have to accept all of the evolutionary psychology. And they may say something like, oh yeah, women, because of survival value, your parents would not have met now, or some bullshit. Yeah, but survival value is what makes women more shallow these days because they have a job. Therefore, they're looking for a guy with more protector status and pre-selection. They don't mention that. See, that's a sleight of hand. They don't mention that aspect. That if the women have this one, they'll have that one. So therefore, yeah, your parents will not met if your dad's not that tall or a pre-selected race. That's true. But at the same time, it's true that they're going for more taller guys. And during COVID-19, women don't have jobs anymore. Not all of them, but I was saying like 30 million people in the United States no longer have jobs. So they are not heroes. In their mind, they are never wrong. Sociopaths are never wrong in their mind. Even though they are the perpetrators, karma will get them. The universe thinks that they will have fun in this lifetime. But at the same time, right afterwards, that universe believes that they're going straight to hell. Their God is not the same as my God. I don't believe in a big blue elephant God. And they claim everyone else screws them over, right? So they're always spinning. Oh yeah, everyone's screwing me over. I need to go to sleep. We'll have to watch this tomorrow. Damn. Okay. It's almost done, dude. So for example, they claim everyone screws them over. So this is them, okay? This is the sociopath. They believe this person screws them over, this person screws them over, and they're awesome. This person over here, this planet Pluto, everyone screws them over. But in reality, you have to look. Who is in the middle of all this stuff in the planets? When you look at the orbit, who is in the middle? This person is actually secretly screwing over everyone else. You get that? And they spin it in such a way that they're not screwing over everyone else. This person over here is the perpetrator. So therefore, they like to spin everything. That's a sociopath. Right there. They'll blame this person, but in reality, there are other narcissistic people. Sure, that's true. But at the same time, the reason why they screw everyone else over is very simple. For money, power, and control. Envy. Lots of different things. They screw people over. The lower self. Give a thumbs up if you like this. So basically, okay, now you know they're value deniers, and these creatures are amazing. They're like black widow spiders. They aren't interested in working with others. And I had a student who screwed me over for $2.2 million. Holy shit, 2.2 million. I taught him how to make $2.2 million. He's exactly the same as his dark tetrad. Exactly. He already screwed me over from day one when he signed the contract. He wasn't going to give me any of that money. They operate like that. I can show you who he is. So that way, it's just to make sure I'm not telling stories of bullshit. But he told me not to like talk about him or dox him. So I'm just going to show you quickly that he is a real person. He's actually one of the students that got 3 lays, and which is hilarious. I can't believe you fucked me over that badly. Maybe I'm writing too much on my profile. But there you are, you motherfucker. And it pisses me off, this guy. Can you see it? That guy. Smart motherfucker. But I'm not here to attack him or dox him or ruin his life. I'm not. I'm just saying I'm not going to his wedding. He's already engaged under my training. So basically, therefore, the phenotype of the narcissistic sociopath is not a bizarre combination of traits. Rather, is a highly attuned social skills and behavior aimed at increasing long-term biological fitness through wealth, status, power, and the future success of the progeny. If they were more numerous, members of society would become familiar with this particular pattern of the social deviance and quick to neutralize it. Furthermore, the narcissist encounters one another. While they may be willing to cooperate with each other in a fickle and short-lived alliance, ultimately their goals will collide and end the relationship, deteriorates into mutual self-defeating conflicts. So what I mean by that is that the sociopath, they'll think win-win in the beginning, which is not true. They'll keep secretly thinking win-lose, and then they'll fuck you over at the end because they'll get greedy. According to this, narcissistic sociopaths, they're always after money, wealth, power, all that shit. All that time. That's all I gotta say. I rest my case. I rest my case. Give a thumbs up. Hope you learned something.